Hello, welcome to Pike Creek Farm. My name is Renee, and today we're going to make a pie because it's November. It's time for Thanksgiving pie collaboration. That's put on by Keri from my table of 3. And make sure I'll have a playlist down below. There will be 1 to 2 videos every day with pie recipes, all different kinds of pies from many channels. And they're going to run from now through the 20th of November. I'll double check that and make sure I put it in the description correctly. But when Keri asked me if I wanted to do this, I was so excited and happy. I have a pie recipe that our family just loves. When I met Jim and we started going out, in the back of his cottage, he had a garden. It was full of wild raspberry bushes, and they were beautiful raspberry bushes. And little raspberries because they were the wild kind that had been transplanted there. So we were picking raspberries in the July hot weather, and he said, you can make a raspberry pie. It takes a lot of raspberries to make one pie. So after all that work, I was trying to figure out a pie I could make that would stretch it, and we could freeze some of the berries and have pie later. And I found a raspberry cream pie, and it's a no-bake pie, and in fact, I'm going to use a pre-made pie crust. I used the bigger size one, the 10-inch size, because the filling fits in it better. There is a crust recipe that came with the recipe, but it has like nuts and vanilla wafers, but I made it once, and my family is just as happy with this, so it's good for me. And we make it for Christmas and for Thanksgiving. It's really pretty at Christmas with the red and the white. So this is a rich but fluffy pie, and it's become a family tradition now ever since those first raspberries that I picked. Both Jim's son and my kids both enjoy this recipe, so it's just become something that we always have at family gatherings. Now, we don't live there anymore. We have Pike Creek Farm, and we're planting raspberry bushes, so I had to go buy raspberries. I don't have them in the freezer, sadly, anymore. And if you can get the fresh ones like that, they taste so good. They have so much more flavor than the store-bought. But these are still good. So I'm going to make the pie. Come on along with me, and thank you, Keri, for this great collaboration. We'll all have some new pie recipes for the holidays. I did check, and the videos will run through November 22nd, and on November 28th, Keri is having her live giveaway at my Table of Threes channel at 7 p.m. So make sure you comment on all the videos, and you'll be eligible to be drawn for one of the prizes. And we all like to get prizes. The first thing you need to do is, for this recipe, is mix up 1 cup of whipping cream. Now you could probably make this recipe using Cool Whip or something like that, but this makes it better. This makes up for the store-bought crust. So I'm going to whip this up, and I'll bring you back. Okay, it's coming to peaks. So I think we are done. I don't want it to get too stiff and where it's overbeaten. So I'm going to set this aside. The next step is you add into another bowl 1 package of cream cheese, softened. So I've had this out sitting for a while. And, I don't know why it was so difficult. My husband asked me, he goes, you're doing the pie video, aren't you, today? We'll have pie? I said, yes, we'll have pie. And then we add in 2/3 a cup of confectioner's sugar. The recipe calls for orange liqueur. I've never added it. I never have orange liqueur in the house. We don't drink much alcohol, and So I don't have a bottle of triple sec. And you add vanilla extract, which I do have that. We add 2/3 a cup of confectioner powdered sugar. Then it's 1 teaspoon of vanilla, but since I don't have the triple sec, I double that, so we have 2 splashes there. And I am going to switch out for actual regular beaters. So I added that Mexican vanilla, which is amazing, but I don't think my filling's going to be quite as white as usual. That's okay. You want to make sure that your cream cheese is softened so that when you beat this, there's not big chunks left, you know, any lumps. Because now we're going to fold in the whipped cream. And you want to just fold it. So you just want to fold this in till it's all mixed together. You don't want to beat the air out of your whipped cream. Now we just add this into there, spread it out, and then put it in the fridge, and the cream cheese firms back up. And then we'll make the raspberry topping. The topping has to be cooked, but then we let it cool before we add it on top of the pie. This is a pie that can be made ahead, which is really nice, and it looks really pretty when it's done too. So, and it's nice to have some easier things to go with a Thanksgiving dinner, because Thanksgiving dinner is a lot of work with the stuffing, the potatoes, all the side dishes. So it's nice to have some desserts that you can make ahead and are still really tasty, but aren't so time consuming. So you need a small pan now, and you mix 1 cup of sugar with 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. So, okay, so there we go. That's mixed. Now we add 1.5 cups of raspberries and 3 tablespoons of water. Something on that. That's the thing about raspberries, you know, making sure they're all clean. So now I'm going to turn the heat on, and we bring this, wrong burner, that's not good. We bring this up to a boil till it thickens, and it will turn clear. The sugar is melting. We want this to come to a boil. It's starting to come to a boil. So we need to let it boil till it starts to thicken. It like coats the spoon. See how it's getting thicker? It smells really good. And it will thicken some more as it cools too, but it will still be spreadable. Sorry. I'm gonna turn the heat off. Giving it a last stir. Stir this a little bit to get some of the heat out of there. And then I need to set this aside. I don't want to put it in the fridge quite this hot. So I'll just set it on the cupboard to cool down. Then once it's not as hot, sometimes I put it in the fridge to give it that little extra, speed it up a little bit at the end. Put in the comments below what your favorite kind of pie is, or if your family has a tradition other than pumpkin. I mean, pumpkin, I guess, is a huge tradition. My dad would think it wasn't Thanksgiving if we didn't have a pumpkin pie. The sauce has cooled off, so Natasha's here. The sauce has cooled off, so now I just spread this on top and put it back in the fridge. And then we'll bring you back for a taste test. You can see why I always buy the bigger pie crust, because it is full. We are ready to cut into it. They're getting anxious. They're always good at cutting out the first piece. I thought this was dirty. There it is. So you can see the white layer and the red layer. And it did turn out white, even with that vanilla. So make sure you watch all the other pie videos, and hope you find something for your family for Thanksgiving. And if you choose this raspberry cream one, awesome. Like this video and subscribe to my channel to see more. I do videos on canning and baking and vintage recipes and life here on Pike Creek Farm. See you next time at Pike Creek Farm.